everyone. My name is James Taylor and I work at International College of Technology Kanazawa with my colleague Ed Basquill. Thank you for accessing this presentation, which is about curriculum integration through interdisciplinary collaboration. In this presentation, we're going to explain an action research project that we undertook in an attempt to increase integration across our school's curriculum, particularly between English and the STEM subjects: science, technology, engineering, and maths. We did this by deciding to collaborate across disciplines because we agree with the sentiment on the slide that the long-term aspiration of action research is collaborative. We began by having a joint essay and presentation project between my English expression writing class and Ed's world history class, and then by branching out to include teachers of other subjects in various ways. Through 3 cycles of this interdisciplinary collaboration project, we found that it provides an easy first step into interdisciplinary collaboration for teachers, that students benefited from and appreciated the extra cohesion between classes, and that teachers felt they were able to assess students more effectively. There were, however, some limitations. Because our student sample size was small, without further iterations of the project, we cannot fully gauge its effectiveness. Also, since this is all from our own experience with our own subjects, we don't know what other subjects and teachers are doing in terms of collaboration. Next, Ed is going to give you some background information regarding the school and the context in which this project took place, and then we'll describe the iterations of the action research in more detail. Finally, we will explain our conclusions from the project so far, our concerns, our plans for future iterations, and offer suggestions for anyone intending to try and incorporate interdisciplinary collaboration into their courses.
International College of Technology is a STEM-focused boarding school located in the foothills of Mount Haksan in Ishikawa Prefecture. The school aims to provide students with all the necessary tools needed to become viable engineers in the global market. This promise of viability requires a general and content-specific approach to English education to ensure that the students can function as engineers outside of Japan. Thus, many of the classes at the school are taught in English with the intention of preparing students to be able to work in English-speaking environments. Moreover, ICT has an international track for students who have lived abroad for an extensive amount of time and have high level of English proficiency. These students are able to take additional courses in English and can take Japanese as their second language. Due to the nature of the tracking, the class sizes fluctuate because of the larger number of students in the standard track versus the smaller number of students in the international track. In the standard track, class sizes range from 8 to 16 students per class, while in the international track, most of the class sizes range from 1 to 4 students.
We began by trying to create closer links between world history, taught by Ed, and English using the English expression writing course taught by me. In the second semester of 2018, the first year of the new curriculum at our school, the class had 1 student who was assigned a project that took place across both courses. In English expression, the student was required to write a 5-paragraph essay answering the question, how can change in science lead to change in culture? The format of the essay was 5 paragraphs because that's what the course focused on. To answer the question, the student needed to use what was learned in world history during the year. The world history side of the project was to write the essay and give a presentation based on it. The student was given 5 English expression lessons and the associated homework time to complete the essay. In the final 5 weeks of world history, the student received mini workshops on using and citing sources, historical thinking, and presentation skills. The teacher also made himself available outside class for additional help, which the student sought out twice. On the English expression side, the essay was graded purely for the English and the technical aspects of the writing, i.e. the essay structure. No credit was given for the accuracy or relevance of the historical information in the essay, as we assumed that the prospect of giving a presentation on the content in world history would encourage accuracy. In world history, both the essay and the presentation were graded for historical accuracy, source work, and historical thinking. We were satisfied overall with the first iteration of the project for two main reasons. Firstly, the student achieved high grades for all sections of the project. Secondly, implementing this project in our lessons was not time-consuming, as we did not need to attend each other's lessons. These 2 points tally with Della Carpini's assertion of improved outcomes for all students and feelings of self-efficacy for the educators involved. We felt that we as teachers had begun to push ourselves as Horn, Stoller and Robinson state. There was only one student, so although this iteration went smoothly, we remained unclear as to how the project would go when there were more students of potentially mixed abilities and levels of motivation. Also, we are both language teachers, so in this case, the teacher of the non-language or content course is also an English teacher, and we already had a close working relationship. We were unsure how things would go if we were collaborating with someone we did not have such a close relationship with, or who did not have language teaching experience. As such, we decided to refine the project and try it again the following year. For the second iteration, we decided to frame the project as action research, following Altrichter, Posch and Somek's model of action research as an ongoing cyclical process that, rather than having a set starting point and end point, requires and encourages constant reflection and refining of the project. In the first semester of 2019, with a new student cohort, we gave the students, there were two, an English and history task. The students had to choose 3 points from a list of history that they believed was still valuable today because they hold a lesson that people should know about. The English expression task was 3 unconnected paragraphs, 1 on each topic. The history task was to present their ideas. In the second semester of 2019, those students completed the same essay and presentation tasks as the previous year's student, again answering the question, how can change in science lead to change in culture? This iteration retained the positive outcomes of the previous attempt. As with before, the students performed very well on all of the tasks, and we felt that we were achieving the tangible professional growth that Horn, Stoller and Robinson suggest this form of continuous professional development offers. However, there were still concerns. The sample size was still small, and one of the teachers, Ed, was trained in both disciplines. To try and mitigate the problem of a teacher having to assess the discipline as not their own, we decided in future to include a section on the rubric for the teacher of the other discipline to contribute to grading. For example, the history teacher to give a score based on the history content of the essay that would form a part of the English expression rubric. I'll expand on this a little later in the presentation. We resolved to continue the collaboration between history and English while also looking for opportunities to collaborate on other projects with teachers of other subjects, which Ed is going to explain a little more about.
After seeing the results of the first and second trials of interdisciplinary collaboration, it became apparent that the action research needed to be broadened to other subjects in order to determine if the results from the earlier trials could be more widely generalized. Thus, we decided to seek other teachers who were interested in incorporating interdisciplinary collaboration into their classrooms. We eventually decided on the combination of world history and biology as the curriculum for both classes allowed for joint topics without the need for changes. Following the model of the previous trials, students were asked to write a paper and give a presentation. However, in this rendition of the action research, the students were required to explore a topic through both history and biology. For example, the students in this trial decided to explore the necessity and attributes of staple crops as they pertain to the growth of civilizations. In addition to the new subject, one smaller change was required due to the biology syllabus. The students wrote individual papers on the topic for history class and gave a joint presentation for the biology class. To address some of the concerns that arose from the previous iterations of this model, a grade for both biology and world history was put into the research paper, i.e. the biology teacher would assess the accuracy of the biology aspect of the world history paper and the opposite would occur for the biology presentation.
Now I'd like to explain how English expression collaborated with other subjects. During the 2019 academic year, the second year English expression course was focusing on different genres of 5-paragraph essay. In an attempt to further increase cohesion across the curriculum and to provide the student with more opportunities for increased and improved outcomes, I looked for ways to incorporate STEM subjects into the course. To do this, for certain genres of essay, I offered the student a list of topics that were all related to another subject. Thus, for the process essay, the student had a list of experiments done in that semester's chemistry class to write about. For the opinion essay, I offered topics related to biology, and for the cause and effect essay, the potential topics were related to engineering context, which is a course focusing on business. The student performed well on these tasks, and the teachers of the other subjects kindly gave up their time to help the student when necessary. However, after the chemistry-related process essay, I discovered a flaw in the grading process. My rubric only assessed the English and essay writing ability of the student, but not the chemistry-related content. When I showed the essay to the chemistry teacher at her request, she pointed out some inaccuracies in the chemistry content. I realized then that my rubric needed a section for the other teacher, in this case the chemistry teacher, to give a score for the content related to the other subject. In this way, I felt I could increase interdisciplinary collaboration and cohesion across the curriculum. As such, for the biology and engineering context-related essays, I asked for and received the teacher's permission to include a section on the rubric for them to give a grade. I was wary of adding to the teacher's workload, but with a small sample size, this was not a problem. However, if we continue to implement this form of collaboration with a larger number of students, it will become more of a concern. Having this section on the rubric encouraged the student to ensure that all aspects of the essay were accurate, not just the English, which, judging by the scores and comments the other teachers gave, they were. I intend to try and include more teachers and other subjects during this academic year. By doing so, I hope to give students more opportunities to cement the knowledge they've learned in other courses. This is one of the tenets of interdisciplinary collaboration as defined by the Science Education Resource Centre. I also hope to provide myself with the challenge and benefits of collaborating with a variety of colleagues. Now Ed is going to give some closing remarks.
From performing this action research over 2 years, we have found that interdisciplinary collaboration shows a clear benefit for our students and is not nearly as taxing or cumbersome as it may appear at first glance. The points of caution are minor, and the possibility for students as well as professional growth seems great. Moreover, the model being tested through this action research and providing template materials lowers the bar even further to entry. However, there are some points of consideration that should also be taken into account. All of the data that was derived through our action research is from our own experience. More specifically, the fact that we have a long working history together and we are both English teachers. Our research did not control for this fact, so we don't know what issues would arise if other subjects attempted our model. Additionally, we do not know what other subjects are doing to integrate their classrooms together. It could be a boon to our research to look into these considerations in order to problem solve and generalize the model we have been developing. Another consideration is that I only approached the research from the point of view of a history teacher. While my English teaching background helped me to more easily integrate the English content into my classroom, I never approached the research as an English teacher. In the future renditions of this action research, it would be beneficial for me to do so because most of the curriculum at ICT is taught in English. Clearly, there will be issues when trying to implement this style of collaboration, but it is our belief that these issues will be minor and specific to subjects or teachers. Therefore, the next step of our action research is to branch out even further and encourage other teachers besides those who have been part of this research to adopt and try the model. In following years, we hope to find other ways to easily add interdisciplinary collaboration to our classes. We've considered working with content teachers who require the students to do presentations. This would allow us to grade a content presentation the students create, but with a focus on English and presentation skills. We suggest for like-minded educators to try this approach at their own schools. The most important first step would be to find an area where class syllabi have flexibility or easy cohesion. Using the model we described would allow for the making of tasks that connect the courses without straining either teacher. It is our hope that more teachers will see that interdisciplinary collaboration is not as taxing as it first appears and give it a try in their own classrooms. Thank you very much.
If you have any questions, comments or suggestions, please feel free to get in touch with us at these emails.